Life is a game, and most people are playing it wrong. So, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to play to win. My life has improved drastically over the last 4 years. I went from in debt, overweight, lonely, and depressed to earning multiple six figures, living a healthy lifestyle, building strong, supportive relationships, and basically living my dream life. All because I learned what I'm about to teach you in this video. If you follow these 7 steps, not only will you be able to build your dream life, but you'll be able to do it in much less time than it took me because you'll have the exact steps to follow. So let's get into it. Step 1 is to determine your goal. My goal is happiness, so that's what I optimize for. You can choose a different goal if you want, but what's the point of having everything you want in life if you're not happy? So I suggest making happiness your goal as well. So if happiness is your goal, step 2 is to determine what makes you happy. Things that impact your happiness are going to be things like mental and physical health, money and finances, career, lifestyle, relationships. All of these categories in your life are going to factor into your happiness. So under that big umbrella goal, you're going to have smaller goals that feed into it. You might have an idea already of what makes you happy in those areas, or you might have no idea. Either way, now is the time to get clear on what that looks like and what it feels like. Knowing both the vision and the feelings you want to feel is really important. And sometimes the feelings are even easier to outline than the specific vision. So if you're feeling stuck, start with the feelings that you want to feel. You can start pretty broad, and then as you get to know yourself more and try different things, you can get more specific. And you want to get as specific as possible. If you don't know where to start, I have a simple questionnaire that will help you get clear on where you are, what you want, and how to get started. You can find the link in the description. Now, here's the important part in this step. I don't want you to judge where you are now or your ability to get to where you want to go. I simply want you to consider what would be an ideal situation that you think would make you happy, irrespective of what your life looks like today. When I first did this exercise, my life didn't look anything like the ideal situation that I came up with. And I had no idea how I was going to make that a reality. But that didn't matter. I still got there eventually. You can always change it later, but don't sell yourself short when you're envisioning your ideal situation. This is your life, and you can make it look however you want it to look in the future. So now that we've determined our goal and what our life will look and feel like when we get there, step 3 is to determine the gap. What is the gap between what your life looks like now and your ideal situation? Without getting really clear on where you are now, you won't know how to get where you want to go because you won't even know where to begin or what steps you need to take to get there. So don't skip this step, but again, no judgment here. This is a no judgment zone. We are not judging where we are currently or getting down on ourselves for what our life looks like today. In fact, you should be celebrating that you are doing something to improve your situation, because this isn't easy and a lot of people won't even take this step or go through this process, but you are. You're putting in the work and the effort to improve your life, and it will pay off. So please be kind to yourself here and don't give up on yourself. The questionnaire that I mentioned, linked in the description, is going to help you get really clear on your current situation and where to get started. So make sure you grab that. And here's a little bonus tip. As you go through this exercise, your brain is going to come up with things to try to stop you from doing this. I want you to notice those things and write them down somewhere. Don't listen to them. Don't let them stop you, but write them down, because we can use those later to help you get where you want to go faster. And being aware of them is the first step, so having them written down will give you a leg up. Okay, so now step 4, we're really in the thick of it. We've identified the gap between where we are now and where we want to go. Step 4 is to map out a plan to close that gap. This plan is going to give us the exact steps that we need to take to get to our goal. Now, when you first start outlining this plan, it doesn't have to be super detailed yet. Just outline an idea of the steps and actions that you could take that would get you closer to your ideal situation. You don't have to take action on this yet. So if you don't know or you don't have the exact steps, that's okay. Just start brainstorming and take some time to figure out what you need. But start now with mapping out what you do know and what you do have. And then you can fill in the gaps as you go. I want you to think of this like you're taking a trip 6 months from now. Once you figure out where you want to go, you know that you need to book a plane ticket, You'll need to book a place to stay. Maybe you have a loose itinerary of what you want to do when you get there, but you don't have all of the details ironed out just yet. You also know that eventually you'll need to pack. You need to get to the airport. You'll need to get through security and get to your gate. But the trip is 6 months from now, so you don't need to worry about exactly what you're going to wear or exactly which gate you need to go to in the airport. That would be silly because you probably don't have the information that you need to figure all that stuff out. And if you did, it's probably going to change. It's the same concept here. Focus on the first things first. Once you have a destination in mind and you have an idea of what that looks like, then the next couple steps need to be super detailed, but the ones that happen later or 6 months from now, you don't need to worry about right now. Those will become clearer as you get closer. Which brings us to step 5. Once you have the general plan outlined, you're only going to focus on the very next step. The trick is we're looking for bite-sized pieces here. You want actionable steps that you can take to move forward in the right direction. If any step in your process feels too big or too daunting at any point, break it down until you have an actionable step that feels manageable. Let's use an easy example here. Say you want to prioritize your health and your physical fitness, so exercising is one of your goals. I have a couple tips here for how you plan action towards your goals because we want you to make your success as easy as possible. This goes for any goal, but let's apply it to this fitness example. My first tip is to pick a physical activity that you actually enjoy. If you hate going to the gym, don't go to the gym. There are plenty of ways to get exercise, so pick something that you might actually want to do on a regular basis. If you've never exercised in your life and you don't enjoy physical activity, anything that you choose is going to be hard. And if you're choosing something that's new to you, it's going to be hard. But pick something you actually think you can enjoy because you're not going to be able to rely solely on motivation to get you to this activity on a regular basis. Some days you're going to be pumped and excited to do it, and other days you're really not going to want to go, but you're going to have to do it anyways. So at least make it easier for yourself by picking something that you enjoy. And tip number 2 is whenever you're trying to build a new habit, make it a part of something that you already do automatically. For example, I first started working out when I was in college. So in order to make it easy for myself, I would go to the gym every day on my way home from class. And to make it even easier, I would wear my gym clothes to class so I didn't have to change and I could go straight there on my way home. So if you can tie your physical activity to something that you do regularly, it will make it easier to stick with that commitment and get there on a regular basis. Okay, so now here's where the skill of breaking something down into the simplest step possible is going to help tremendously. And yes, this is a skill, which means you can practice it and you will get better at it the more that you do it. For the days that you don't want to show up and you're experiencing a ton of resistance, your brain is going to come up with every excuse in the book for why you shouldn't go. This is where you use your skill of breaking it down into the smallest step possible until it feels doable. So instead of thinking about going to the gym, I'm going to break it down into the smallest step possible that feels doable. So the first thing I need to do is get up. I can get up. The next thing I need to do is walk downstairs. Okay, easy. Then I need to get dressed. All right, I can get dressed. Once I'm dressed, I need to put my socks and shoes on. Okay, I can do that. Once I do that, then I'm going to get in the car. Then I'm going to drive to the gym. So you can see, rather than thinking about going to the gym, if you just think of it one step at a time, each of those individual steps feels doable. And once you do one of them, you might as well do the next step. Like I said, this is a skill, so it might take practice, but you can might as well your way to pretty much anything. And some of you probably already do this for things that are not good for you. So you might as well start doing it for things that are good for you. See what I did there? This works because when you break something down into tiny, manageable steps, you're going to experience less resistance and it will be easier to get the things that you want to do done. And I promise you, this strategy is much more effective and sustainable than trying to bully or shame yourself into getting stuff done. Finally, we're on to step 6, which is taking action until your action is automatic. So for each of your goals, you want to take action consistently until doing those things becomes automatic. And this takes time, around 30 to 45 days to be exact. So this is going to be hard and you're going to experience a lot of resistance, and you're going to learn the skills and strategies to overcome that resistance, like the one I just shared with you of making things easier for yourself and breaking them down into smaller tasks. And if you fall off or miss a day, you're going to get back on as soon as possible. Commit that to yourself. If you missed your 3 p.m. gym time, go at 7 p.m. If you can't go at 7 p.m., go first thing the next morning. And if you can't do that, pick right back up at 3 p.m. the next day. But don't let falling off be your reason for quitting altogether. Whatever you commit to, stick with it. And if you fell off, get back on. Now, step 7 is the fun part, which is evaluate and reinforce. Check back against your plan every so often. Remind yourself of the big picture and where you're going, but don't judge yourself in the process. Sometimes you're going to see huge progress. Sometimes you're going to feel like you're making very little. Try not to judge the short term and instead zoom out, look at the big picture, and try to celebrate your small wins along the way. Most really big and worthwhile life goals take a minimum of 5 to 10 years to reach, some even longer. So give yourself quicker milestones and wins that you can achieve along the way. Continue to take action and move forward. Notice things that you like and don't like along the way so you can adjust and fine-tune your North Star. The more you know about yourself, the easier it will be to create a life that you truly love and fills up your cup. And that's it. Those are the 7 steps you need to take to win at the game of life. I'm so excited for you to win in this journey. I know you've got this. But if you don't want to go at it alone and you're serious about making positive changes in your life, I've created a program specifically to help you turn these steps into reality. It's called the Limitless Life Lab. It's a group coaching program and community that gives you the tools, resources, confidence, and support to design and start living your dream life. We will deep dive into health, wealth, happiness, and relationships to ensure every area of your life aligns with the future that you want. And you're getting support and accountability every step of the way. The doors for this program will open in early 2025, and spots are limited, but the waitlist is open now. Sign up with the link in the description and be the first to know when enrollment opens. Let's work together to create the life you've always dreamed of. Can't wait to see you there, and in the meantime, check out this next video.